Buffer overflow. Binary exploitation is among the most essential skills for any penetration tester. It's usually the way to find the most advanced vulnerabilities in programs and operating systems and requires a lot of skill. Over the years, many protections have been added to the way memory is handled by the OS kernel and how binaries are compiled to prevent such vulnerabilities. Still, there are always newer ways to exploit minor mistakes found in binaries and utilize them to gain control over a remote machine or gain higher privilege over a local machine. As binary and memory protections become more advanced, however, so do binary exploitation methods. This is why modern binary exploitation methods require deep understanding of assembly language, computer architecture, and fundamentals of binary exploitation. Both assembly language and computer architecture were thoroughly covered in Into the Assembly Language module and the stack-based buffer overflow on Linux module. Also cover the basic of binary exploitation on Linux. Yeah, so we haven't done this one. It costs money. This one was free and we just finished it. So buffer overflows in binary exploitation. Our primary goal is to subvert the binary execution in a way that benefits us. Buffer overflows are the most common type of binary exploitation, but other types of binary exploitation exist, such as format string exploitation or heap exploitation. So these are links to Wiki and OWASP. So let's open them, but not read them now. A buffer overflow occurs when a program receives data that's longer than expected, such as it overwrites the entire memory space on the stack. So stack, I guess, is also Wiki. Yeah. This can overwrite the next instruction pointer. Next. Well, actually the old, I would say. Or RIP. EIP or RIP. So 32-bit name, 64-bit name, which causes the program to crash because it will attempt to execute instructions at an invalid memory address by forcing the program to crash. This is the most basic example of exploiting buffer overflows, known as denial of service DOS attack. Another basic attack. Oh my. Is to override a value on the stack to change the program's behavior. For example, if an exam program has a buffer overflow vulnerability, you can overwrite the buffer enough to overwrite our score. Since our exam score is stored as a stack in this example, we can take advantage of this flaw and change our score. If we are a bit more sophisticated, we can change the address of EIP to an instruction that will execute our shellcode, as we just did for Linux. This would allow us to execute any command we want instead of just crashing the program, known as jumping to shellcode. Okay. With more advanced memory protections, it may not be possible to load our entire shellcode and point to it. Instead, we may use a combination of instructions from the binary to execute a particular function and overwrite various pointers to change the program execution flow. This is known as return-oriented programming, ROP attacks. Finally, modern programming and modern programs and operating systems may use the heap instead of the stack to store buffer memory, which will require heap overflows or heap exploitation methods. And hopefully we have more information on that here. So where were I? Okay, so it was all of that. Stack Overflow. Let's start by demonstrating how stack works in storing data. The stack has a last in, first out LIFO design, which means that we only pop out the last element pushed into the stack. We can push an element into the stack, it will be located on top of the stack. If we pop anything from the stack, the item located at the top of the stack would get popped. The following table demonstrates how the stack works. We can click on push to save a value from EAX to the stack and pop the top value from the stack into EAX. So why do we have empty? Because they want to show us and fill stuff up. So we've just been doing this a lot. I'm thinking, should we hop stuff? I guess I'll just read it quickly, right? Oh, we can actually use it. So let's push 1, 2, 3 onto the stack. Let's push 4, 5, 6 onto the stack. And then we pop and pop and pop and pop and have nothing left. We better put something on the poor stack. It's nice to have actual running examples, right? This is like BB level, or is it? The above example correctly receives buffer data, such that it never gets overflowed to the next one. I should probably read more carefully. The above example correctly receives buffer data, such that it never gets overflowed. Okay. Yeah, so if we write a mega long one here. Okay. It always pops on to the top. So what if we like fill it all up? What will happen then? Yeah, I can't do anymore. I had to try, you know. The following example explains. Example expects an input from us in 8 characters long. What would happen if we send it longer? Try to send 20 characters. So, okay. There. Push. So, as we can see, when we send a string that is longer than expected, it overwrites other existing values on the stack. And would even overwrite the entire stack if it was long enough. The problem with this is, let's reset it and let's do a long one again. So, okay, so it did it the right way. Good, yeah. So it was good. I hoped so. But in my corner of my eye, I didn't really look carefully enough, apparently. It didn't seem like it did it, but it did. Most importantly, we see that
Cybernair Dante says,
Hello. Happy Tuesday.
The same to you. Happy Tuesday. Hope you're having a great day. And that you're great. In great shape. So let's continue reading. So this is repetition since we just did the Linux one. So we're doing Windows now. Windows. Does not, let's see, most importantly, we see that it overwrote the value at EAP. And when the function tries to return to this address, the program will crash since the address does not exist in memory. This happens because the LIFO design of the stack, which grows upwards, while a long string overflows values downwards until it eventually overwrites the return address EAP and the bottom of the stack pointer EBP here. This was explained in Intro to Assembly Language. Okay, so this was a paid module, so we want to look at that. If no one tells me, it's great. If someone does that, I might. Whenever a function is called, a new stack frame is created and the old EAP So I have my own text on this already. Gets pushed to the stop of the new stack frame so the program knows where to return once the function is finished. For example, if our buffer input overrides the entire stack and return address EIP. I am thinking, is this better than my explanation? Then I might update mine. I don't think so. It's an example though. An example is always good. So, if our buffer input overrides the entire stack and return address EIP, then the overridden EIP address will be called when the function returns due to a ret instruction. I think mine's better. If we calculate our input precisely, we can place a valid address in the location where EIP is stored. This will lead the program to go to our overridden address and when it returns as part of the program execution. So let's just hop over here to buffer overflow, and I'm thinking I'll need to edit the end of this, right? But here's really, I think this is better. But I also have text explanations, but I'm not opening in all of them on my... Come on. So, was there something else minimized here? I'm just trying to find the header. There it is.
VR Mechatronics says.
Web link.
There. Look, this is rain water. Sure, okay. So let's look at rainwater. Oh my god, sorry people, have I been zoomed in? That was not on purpose. I have to change. It was when I was typing all the numbers, right? Oh gosh. Yeah. A lot of rain. Lots of rain. I think they forgot to stop filming. Yeah, so the other day when it rained a week ago, too, when I was out in the rain, then while I was just a few minutes, the water increased like 20 centimeters on top of the bridge that was already overflowing when I went one direction. So
it started raining in southern Poland.
Yeah, that looks bad. So here we didn't have anything that bad, at least, but it was raining a lot. So weather is a bit out of control now, really. Yeah. Let's continue reading. I want to focus and get some studying done. This would lead the program to go to our written address. Yeah, I read that. Real world examples. There have been numerous incidents where Stack Overflow exploits were used to break into restricted systems like mobile phones and gaming consoles. In 2010, iPhones running iOS 4 were jailbroken using the Green Poison jailbreak, which utilized two different exploits to gain kernel-level access over the iPhone and install unofficial unsigned software and apps. One of these exploits was a stack-based buffer overflow on the iPhone's HFS volume name. Ooh. At that time, Apple did not automatically randomize address space. iOS 4.3 patches vulnerabilities and introduced memory protections like randomizing address space layout randomization, ASLR, a stack-based overflow exploit who also used a high gain kernel level access on the original PlayStation Portable PSP. So that's too new for me to know anything about it. The original, I was like, original? Are there several versions? This allowed the use of pirated games as well as installing unsigned software. The TIFF exploits a vulnerability around the TIFF image library in the PSP's photo viewer. This leads to code execution by simple viewing malicious TIFF file in the photo viewer and setting the background to a corrupt PNG image. Ooh. Another similar attack, stack overflow exploit, was later discovered in a PSP game, Grand Theft Auto Liberty City Stories, which had an overflow vulnerability in its saved game data that can be exploited by loading a malicious load file. So how many examples do they have? Okay, there's one in Zelda, and PlayStation 2, free DVD boot. Yeah, so we don't have to read all of this. My god. Someone liked games who wrote this. all console examples. Of course, operating systems like Windows, Linux, and Mac OS were always the first target for stack-based buffer overflow exploits. There have been numerous such vulnerabilities found in all of these systems and software running by them. By detecting these vulnerabilities before products go to production, we will reduce the occurrence of potentially catastrophic pitfalls. Stack Overflow protections. Yeah, so let's go to that in our notes. So what I would like to have here. Let's see if I can just open all of these without messing up. So this is not closed, okay? Now I would like to have like headers on this side, and we might actually make such an add-on to Obsidian if no one else does, because I want it. I want to be able to see underneath my buffer overflow. Where is it? Not Linux, here. So under buffer overflow here, I would like to see the headers in like in Google Docs. You can see the headers, you know, on the side. I would like to be able to see that, so that I wouldn't have to go like, what is buffer overflow? Reddish memory layout, stack frames. Where did I put these nodes? Program flow in assembler. Did I put it in a separate file? Yeah, it's in modern security features. So that's why I didn't find it. But still, I would like this function to have that.
Kitty says.
Buffer overflow is easy to understand in the speedrunning game world.
Okay. So, how do you use buffer overflow in speedrunning games? I should drink this because I'm hungry. So, apparently we had water overflow. So, buffers in all kinds of things, including real world. So these are the notes so far on this. Disabling security features for testing there. Right, so did I have the compiler ones there too? Yeah, they're here. Compiling away and then disabling for testing. Right. So let's read this. As we may notice from the above examples, most of them are pretty old, aging back at least a decade. This is because modern operating systems have many protections for the stack, like preventing code execution or randomly changing the memory addresses. These protections make it so we can't easily run our code placed on the stack or pre-calculate the memory addresses to jump to. However, even with these protections, if a program is vulnerable to a buffer overflow, there are advanced methods to bypass
If you wish to be
these
interested how
protections.
buffer overflow works in games, web link.
Okay, sure, I can watch later. Oh, yeah. So that looks like something my kids would like. I'll look later. Thanks, Nori. Even though I didn't have any snacks. Yeah, so hard to pre-calculate memory addresses to jump to. However, even with these type of predictions, if a program is vulnerable to buffer overflow, there are advanced methods
I had
to
snacks
bypass
before I
these
came,
protections.
because I knew you did not have any for me Noiki one cry.
Yeah, I'm trying to be healthy. I don't have any snacks. If I had snacks, I wouldn't be healthy. That's like a very clear thing, right? Some examples include the previously mentioned return-oriented programming ROP, or Windows-specific execution methods like egg hunting or structured exception handling exploitation. Right, so there's not any more information about this, right? So advanced bypass methods, we need to have this in our notes, and we don't yet, so we have to fix it. So I copy stuff and then I type it. That's not smart. I can just at least use one of the words. So Windows specific. Alright, I should have hopped an extra there. So both of these are Windows specific. So let's see, what level header should we use? 3. And to add, because we don't have enough information, this is just, we need to add stuff, right? Now I want snacks, Nori. Can you get me some snacks, please? Digital are okay. They're okay. Furthermore, modern compilers prevent the usage of functions that are vulnerable to stack overflows.
I got some crackers and rice cakes, only plain flavor.
Oh. At least salt, right? Thanks. So the compilers themselves have safety features, and these are what we're disabling here with no stack protector and no PIE and exec stack to be able to execute stuff on the stack. So we had to do that to be able to run stuff. So I guess it's good that it's secure now. Of course it is, right? Less fun stuff to play with though. But it's good for, you don't want people to hack your computer, right? So yeah. which signifies the occurrence of reduces the occurrence of stack-based buffer overflows. This is why stack-based overflows are less common these days. At the same time, other more advanced types of binary exploitation are more common, as they can't be mitigated by simply enabling a protection method. We learn basic stack overflows. In this module, we'll learn how to, my god, 2:30. I've been 30 minutes on this page. In this module, we'll learn how to gain code execution through basic stack-based buffer overflows. We will do so on applications and systems that do not have any memory protection. Otherwise, we require more advanced methods to gain code execution. But if basic stack-based overflows are no longer common these days, why should you learn them? We do so because learning them gives us a good understanding of the basics of binary exploitation and the fundamentals of exploit development. Furthermore, once we master how to detect and exploit basic stack-based buffer overflows, it will be much easier to learn structured exception handling, which is very common in modern Windows. So, I'm like, what? Finally, once we get a good grip on basic stack overflows and basic mitigation bypasses, we would be ready to start learning advanced mitigation bypass methods like ROP and other advanced binary exploitation methods. So what was on the right side here? Did I scroll past something? Just a list of what we're going to do, I guess. So, there's a cheat sheet. I wonder if the other one had a cheat sheet. What happens if I click here? Oh, so it's like hops up stuff on top. Okay, now I'm too curious to do anything else but to duplicate and go to the last one. So if we go to the dashboard, can we still see the old one? So this is in my favorite list. So modules, all modules. Here we can see all modules, I assume. So owned modules should probably be these three, right? And here I can see that these are finished. I can remove this. I can click this to look at it again. Right, so we're learning how the HTTP Academy works. So there is no, was it cheat sheet? No cheat sheet on this. So if we were to hop in the middle of it, there's go to questions. What's questions? Oh, of the page. Meaning this cheat sheet thing is for this page. So if we go back, we don't have a cheat sheet. We do have a cheat sheet. So it's all for all pages. So is it the same here and there? Have to explore. So we have Python ERC X32. That sounds interesting. Yeah. It's the same for all of them. So, I guess we'll copy this. Overflow steps, commands, and you can download it in what format? PDF. Oh, we prefer text. text, you can copy and paste. So as we can't, you know, have 2 long documents here, I'm thinking of splitting this one up. So let's just make a new note with HTTP buff Windows sheet there, right? So it's all here. It copied okay. So I'll just hop back here. But I really want to have that one up too, because it sound, oh, middle click, not right click. So let's have that up. So we won't have to go back to this page or something. So this looks interesting. So we already have new stuff. So where do I have tools? I guess you can find it by searching here. So I have WinGBG and Immunity Debugger that listed here, and they have IDA Pro. Either outdated or need a pro license to use. Okay, yeah, outdated. This is my problem with the Try Hack Me room, and here they seem to have like, so we can't use this, it's too old. We'll see. Welcome in.
FixerBot says,
thanks for the follow.
New follower ST4com. Less than 3.
So we just did the Linux one, now we're doing the Windows one. So I'll read this, and when we find interesting stuff, we'll put it in the notes too. Debugging Windows programs. To successfully identify and exploit buffer overflows on Windows programs, we need to debug the program to follow its execution flow and its data in memory. Now, there are many tools that we can use for debugging, like Immunity Debugger, and this one that I didn't know, OllyDBG, WinDBG, also the links, right? Let's actually open. However, these debuggers are either outdated or need a pro license to use. And we got a Immunity link didn't work very well. Is it too outdated? Yeah. It was that outdated. Maybe just a spelling mistake. I don't know. I probably have a link already. We could Google if we wanted to. In this module, we will be using x64dbg. So, x64dbg. So it is at least x64. An open source user mode debugger for Windows, optimized for reverse engineering and malware analysis. And we don't know yet if it's GUI. It is. And it has dark mode. Oh, oh, that's better. And hopefully you can set the size of the fonts. Right? I'm assuming if it's modern, you have size for fonts. Right? So let's actually look at this one first. I didn't look at this one. Okay, so 2014. So, and it's 32-bit. So we could just say bye-bye to that page. Or should we add it as a old one? Win GDP. So when I was at GDP's page, I read something about like there being planned.
VR
different
Mechatronics
versions.
says.
Assassin's Creed 1, 2, 3 are for €2,50 on Steam.
Okay. Yeah, so my hubby plays those. I think. I don't really take time to play games. I think this is more fun. This is my games. Sometimes I play mobile games, but I think it takes too much time from my life, so I just deleted them all again. I don't even have a card game. I do have practice like languages apps still. But that's learning. That's another thing.
Cybernair Dante says.
RuneScape is the best game ever.
Okay. Yeah, so I do get all the free Epic games in case I would want them, later and want to play something. And I get them for my kids too, since they're free, if they're too bloody or anything. But what I do have,
VR Mechatronics
I have
says.
Raft installed. And
I don't play,
something called
but I collect
Eidolon.
collections of games on promotions.
Okay, you don't play the games. Yeah, so I haven't really played games for some time, so I'm just going to open up TTS and OBS again so they don't fall asleep, or rather I want to see what screen I'm on, what I'm sharing on OBS. So IDA Pro is paid, but there's a free version, right? But it's not useful. I read this as it's not as useful.
If normal price is $19.99, I grab minus 90%.
Yeah, but it's not very economical if you never play the games, If you don't play the games, then you just throw money to nothing, right? That's the thing. So, but if you're thinking like, oh, I'll probably want to play this game, but then if you haven't played it after 20 years, will you play it? So it's all prioritization. Do you prioritize playing games, or do you prioritize like watching a Twitch stream maybe, or while maybe working on something, or maybe studying something?
But I can share it in the cloud with friends when they want to play.
Okay. Yeah. Then you're doing like a community service there, buying the games for other people. Yeah, if you can share them as a family thing, then you put your friends in a family group on Steam. So I do that with my family. No one else.
Yes.
Yeah. You have to give them your password, right? Or log in on their computers as you, of course. So peripheral disassembler, I never heard that the bugger. But what about the free? Let's see a comparison between free. Binary tool. So what's included?
I have already bought 280 games for
Debugger?
10% of their value.
Oh my god. So what is the price? What have you paid for those? For me it's like not worth it. It's all what do you like, but so we can analyze 32-bit and 64-bit applications. It has local debuggers, cloud-based decompiler. I guess that it's like not a server thing. I don't know what the difference is.
Around €1,000.
yeah, that's a lot of money really for even if it's 10%, right? Don't you think? Yeah. It all depends what you think is worth it. Anyway, yeah, I was thinking they must have a comparison. So, debuggers, local and remote. Free, local. File format. Okay, so this can't take a lot of formats. That's a limitation. Oh, yeah. So that's the limitation, and it's mostly x86. Or only the compiler, it says. Yeah, and of course it's always better to use, open source stuff, free stuff. Always better. But I'm curious what the difference is and why they didn't use this. Because I was curious, So I just put it as a question mark here, but I thought this probably can be used. That's why I did it here in a parenthesis. For Windows there are. So let's actually fix this one here. But I'm going to read more first. And then when we know what we like, we can add this. But I also have this, you can see, with Linux ones. I have stuff I don't use a lot in the list anyway. So I guess we should add OllyDBG. Yeah, so these are outdated. I guess we'll add it here. So it's there. I didn't type it the same way though. So let's just see. Yeah, I'll read those later sometime. So this is what we will be using. x64dbg. Of course we need this in our notes. A modern choice. Question mark so far. And I think that we do this. x64 dbg. Is that right? Yeah. So you can always Google if you don't have the link, so it doesn't matter really to put them there, but anyway. An excellent Windows debugger aims specifically at binary exploitation and reverse engineering. Open source tool developed and maintained by the community, and also supports
I'll send you a
x64
VR treadmill and a
debugging.
headset so you can play VR games on stream.
Oh yeah, do that. That would be cool. I don't know if that has a space though. Yeah, if you could do that, but you have to build it first, right? So how is your invention going, VR? You'll have to tell me. Give me an update. Unlike Immunity. Okay, so Immunity only does 32-bit. That's good to know.
I have 2 prototypes already.
Oh,
Kitty
cool,
says.
cool. Nor is
I
interesting.
try to fix something in Unity for VR chat, so I open script to fix and I am greeted with, "Header, do not edit anything in here, or you may make it worse. It's already broken, so how can I make it worse, Noiki Wanyuru?"
I'm sure you'll fix it, Nori. But you two have both VR's big interest, right? Nori, you said you're always in VR chat. You do a lot of stuff. And VR Mechatronics is building Yeah, as you said there, a VR treadmill, so you can actually like be in there and jump and all the things. It said it sounds cool. So you'll have to send it to Nori instead.
VR Mechatronics
Climbing,
says.
yeah, climbing.
Yes, climbing.
Cool. So, Immunity debugger only does 32 bits, so we can keep using the DVD, x64 DVD, when we want to move to Windows x64 buffer overflows. In addition to the debugger itself, we will utilize a binary exploitation plugin to efficiently carry out many tasks required for identifying and exploiting buffer overflows. Yeah, one popular plugin is Mona Pi. So I think this was in the Immunity debugger stuff we read too, which is an excellent binary exploitation plugin, though it's no longer maintained. Does not support x64 and runs on
Kitty
Python
says.
2.
If I did more stuff in VR, I would be skeleton lol.
Yeah. Yeah, you... But VR, have you checked out Nori streams? Let's do a shout out here. I don't think VR streams, but you do, Nori, so...
VR Mechatronics says.
I need to find some escape room. I want to install it there.
So, there, everybody. Nori does very cool VR DJ streams. Yeah? So go and listen to the music and look at all the cool graphics. And they build like, yeah, cool disco rooms and stuff. You can tell. Nori. So, there. Yeah, so apparently Mona is ancient. Python 2. So instead we will be using ERC.
Kitty says.
Do not have much on Twitch no more. We no longer allowed to clip or record Noiki one cry.
Oh, yeah. So you stopped? Did you stop? No? Oh, that's sad. But then you could just hop to YouTube and stream on YouTube instead. If they allow it. I hope so. So instead we will be using, which is an open source binary exploitation plugin.
No, it's against Twitch toes if we stream music or VODs, and clips must be disabled.
Okay. Yeah. But you can still do it you can do it live, without VODs and clips. But I understand that that's a bit sad. Yeah.
Yes.
But don't most people like just join in and see the live stream? Anyway. So maybe you could like do stream to YouTube at the same time and they're saved at YouTube? Or will they get strikes there too? I don't know if YouTube is tricky with that. No idea. So let's just double check this because I read it in so many bits.
Strikes and bans there too. YouTube hates live DJs because cannot monetize live.
Yeah, understand. It's tricky.
But we pay music publishers to stream on Twitch now.
Yeah, so if you pay, why couldn't you just keep it up? That's odd. So I thought that would be a good thing with the DJ thing first, but then it sounds like it didn't go very well.
VR Mechatronics says.
I built 2 prototypes in the basement, and I have nowhere to test it. I need to rent a living room somewhere.
Okay.
Kitty says.
Live music has different rule than recorded is confusing Noiki one cry.
Yeah, that's sad. I hope you can get it fixed. I mean, you're not alone in this situation, right? There's a lot of people. So, in addition to the debugger itself, we will utilize binary exploration plugin. And then it says one popular, but then it says it's bad. Right? So it mentioned it and says it's bad, and then it says we use this. So people will know that this is not good anymore. X64 DVG plugin. Okie dokie. Oh, installation. All of these tools are already installed on the Windows VM found at the end of the section, which you can connect to from the phone box with the below command. And it keeps putting my name here. X3 RDP. Yeah. So it tells us how to use X3 RDP. You can also use the same command in your own Linux VM to connect to the Windows VM. Alright, yeah, so I won't use this, of course. RDP, the Windows or Mac OS. To connect to the VM from your machine, you must first connect using VPN. To install X64 DVD, we can follow the instructions as shown. Yeah, so let's just read the section I skipped. Yeah, so it ends this section with it's also possible to install on your own Windows VM. Of course. So, I'm kind of thinking it's very warm in here. Should I open the window for a bit? It might be noisy. Just a sec. Oh no, right. I'm reorganizing my clothes. So I'd have to reorganize them done before I can open the window. I'll just open the door a bit. Oh, gosh. So it's about 1.5 days since I got the training ache. And it's getting worse. So I'm going training later. We'll see how that goes. Like, if I can't lift my arms, I can't do much martial arts then, can I? To install, follow the instruction on its GitHub page, and we have it up already. Go to the latest release page and download the snapshot snipset. Let's look at this. So we have releases. So this is what it looks like at that. Oh no, I smell the piece again when I open the door. Download snapshots zip. Once we download, we can extract the zip. Extract it somewhere. Move it to program files. Why would I want it there? Activity comes to separate applications. Okay, so they're separate for 32 and 64 bits. And this is the 32-bit. So it's kind of obvious that you download this. I don't need to make notes. No, I can't click the image. tip. So when you start it, it creates a desktop. The tip to use option theme dark ERC. To install the ERC plugin, you can go to the release page. Big surprise. So instead, we go to the release here. And there's a zip file. Let's actually put this in the notes. So with the plugin, I guess it's called ERC, but let's actually copy the full thing. So why? Okay, so these are links and these are URL links. So these are links within here to a document. Right. Maybe I'll make one for those too, or I will probably do that. My, let's continue. So, download, extract, put it into plugins folder. Okay, so 64 or 32 bits. So now I almost have to install it just to see. Then when that's complete, the plugin should be ready to use. Once we run a 32dbg, we can type ERC help in the command bar at the bottom to view ERC's help menu. To view the ERC's output, we must switch to log tab by clicking Alt L. So I can't see this image. Why couldn't they make it clickable? So error, the debugger must be attached to a process to use ERC. And it's apparently called ERC. So what does ERC stand for? Exploit development process help. So I can't see what ERC is. Well, it's part of that, so we don't need to have that up. We can also set a working directory. ERC config. Yeah, let's do a short note on this. And I guess I will do the same name. So if I click this now, I think it will make one. And did it make it in the right place? No, probably not. Oh my, oh my. Yeah, so let's just... Yeah, it's in the right place. Woohoo! I was just blind. That's good. So, anything else would have been not very smart, right? So first, back. Let's actually cut this. And let's actually say S, because it is, right? And then we open this in a new tab, and we paste this. And we do install the latest release. I can't spell release today. Of x64 DBG. Get ERC and put it in the plugins. So in plugins. Well, 32-bit. And the same for 64-bit. Is you, right? And then we have, this is what made me put it in the notes, because there's an interesting thing. So PowerShell session. No, I don't hate PowerShell. It's just prettier with SH. So set the working there. And it's kind of obvious that we wouldn't use HTTP student, right? Now all of your apps should be saved. Yeah, because they put the desktop. Debugging a program. However we want to debug a program, we can either run it through x32dbg or run it separately and then attach to its process. So it's the same as other programs. To open a program, we can select File Open or press F3. I wanted to attach the program, File Attach, or press Alt A. So open file is F3. Let's do it the other way around. And Alt A, attach to running process or whatever, you know. Oh, it will even give us a list. Right. We can just click something. Opens dialog. So we can select the process we want to debug and click attach to start debugging it. If we want to debug a process that's not shown in the attach window, we can try running as an admin. If you can't see the process, run. I guess I'll have to keep typing x64dbg as admin, right? So, good to remember. Getting help. If we wanted any help with either of these tools, we can refer to the documentation. Okay. And ERC documentation. Nice. We want these links. Put them over our notes here. X64 DVD. I'll get very quick at typing this, right? Docs. And ERC docs. Placeholder. It's always a pretty thing to see. So right, we could actually close these two down. If you want any help, now that we have all our tools set up, we can start debugging our first software, try and find a Stack Overflow vulnerability and exploit it. Clicker response system. I'm assuming we'll need something basic. Apply what you learn in this module when you try to. What's the name of its process? So we're going to just spawn this 2 attached to it. That's the only reason. And we get the name of it soon. Alright. We can just close these down. We don't need any notes or anything from these. I hope, like, right? Since I already deleted the other one, which was most interesting. Yeah, so let's clear this and let's do a X3. And I'm going to keep the scale and stuff because it's kind of good. So we'll get an IP soon. 129.43.22 and HTTP student and I guess Academy student. Very advanced passwords here. Right, I just realized. So we had it zoomed. We had it zoomed because of that bad one. This is a bit big, right? Yeah, let's scale the desktop. Let's keep it at 100%, right? Let's try this. So I have it set so that when I make the window bigger, then it will actually it should make text a bit bigger. Yeah, I think I might actually like the other one. X32 DBG. So let's check the preferences, and if we can easily set the font, which I hope. I can't even see this, it's so tiny. Maybe I should have left it at another percentage. That's what I'm thinking. So this is not the kind of settings I want. Theme. It's dark already, it's smart, it realized. Or it's set to that by the machine, of course. They should have done it manually. Oh, they can have. I think, why ever have a bright light default, right? I'm just checking for font size. So, what if I put the menu up over here? Yeah, that was the bottom. Yeah, let's make it easy. And actually, not 200, but 150%. I guess we could just maximize it like this too. So, what do you think of this? It kind of broke. This is Windows itself. Yeah, I think we'll need to see the full names of things. That's annoying. So what if I restart it now? Yeah, thought so. That's good. Modern, nice software, but it's too high also everything. And because of this, well, we'll see. Anyway, this is so much nicer than the other one. Immunity debugger machine. It was not nice. So we're just supposed to attach to free CD to MP3 converter. So let's see. Come on. So refresh and F5. I like it. So this is the name they want. CD extract. I can't even reach. I can't stretch my arms fully up, all the way out. So this one is answered. They just wanted us to make sure that we could connect, that kind of thing. Fuzzing parameters. First, stack base buffer overflow exploration. We usually follow 5 main steps to identify and exploit the buffer overflow vulnerability. And this is what was in the cheat sheet here, right? So we put those in the notes. Yeah, so it's not just me that is hungry, my tummy also rumbled. We'll see if I can wait another half an hour. Fuzzing parameters, controlling EIP, identifying byte characters, finding a return instruction, jumping to shellcode. So, fuzzing parameters. Yeah, so we haven't had to do this really yet because we've been doing simple Linux programs where it's been either the single input that you get to straight when the application starts or a command line argument. So we haven't fussed anything for parameters. But we've been looking for EIP, we have been identifying byte characters, finding a return instruction, and jumping. Well, This is just, they mean running it then after fixing all this, or this is getting the information and this is just putting it together. Step in binary vulnerability exercise is fuzzing various parameters and any other input the program accepts to see whether our input can cause the application to crash. If any of our inputs successfully causes the program to crash, we review what caused the program to crash. If we see the program crashed because our input overrode the IP register, we likely have a stack-based buffer overflow vulnerability. All that is left is to exploit this vulnerability successfully, which can vary in difficulty depending on the OS, program architecture, and protections. Let's start by debugging a local program called, which we're already attached to, identifying input fields, or rather I didn't click it because I just wanted to have the name of it there. As discussed in the previous session, we can either open our program with or run it separately and attach to it. It's always preferable to run it separately and attach to it to ensure we would debug it exactly as it is when run normally. This may not make a lot of difference for basic programs like this one, but other programs that rely on various libraries may face some differences, which is why we prefer attaching to a process. Once our debugger is attached to FreeCD to MP3 converter, we can start fuzzing various input fields. Depending on the program size, there may be various input fields to fuzz. Examples of potential input fields include text input fields, program license registration fields, various fields found in the program's preferences, open files, program arguments, remote resources, any file the program open, various arguments accepted by the program during runtime, any files or resources loaded by the program on runtime or on a certain condition. These are the main parameters we usually fuzz, but many other parameters may be exploitable as well. So let's take this as examples of GUI programs, because it's fields, right? And in our here we have already user input, command line arguments, network commands, network environment variables. So GUI, what's the GUI stuff after this? Let's actually wait. GUI programs. So I'm thinking, should I make a new header here with command lines, or should I just make another one here? So these are level 4. So let's make this a 5. So it's just an addition. I don't really like this, that it's table. Let's edit it. So let's remove. There's a lot of space here. Oh, I don't know what I clicked by mistake. I was going to do shift control back forward. I don't know what I really did. That's a lot of space. So I'm not sure I like that those are bold, but let's see what it looks like. So this has a BR here actually. So it's not very lined up or anything. I might change it later. And actually the text too, you know. But let's read this. These are the main parameters we usually fuss. Could be other stuff. Let's actually. This means and other stuff, right? As any program may have many of these types of parameters, and each may have to be fussed with various kinds of inputs. We should attempt to select parameters with the highest possibilities of overflows and start fussing them. We should look for a field that expects short input, like a field that sets a date. As a date usually short, so that the developers may expect a short input only. Another common thing we should look for is fields that are expected to be processed somehow, like a license number registration field, as it will probably be run on a specific function to test whether it's a correct license number. License numbers also tend to have specific length, so that developers may be expecting a certain length only. And if you provide a long enough input, it may overflow. The same applies to open files, as open files tend to be processed after being opened, while developers may keep a very long buffer for open files. Certain files are expected to be shorter, like configuration files. And if you provide a long input, it may overflow the buffer. Certain file types tend to cause overflow vulnerabilities, like WAV files or M3U files, due to the vulnerabilities in the libraries that process these types of files. Okay. With that in mind, let's start fussing some fields in our program. So I'm thinking, should I make a note that WAV and M3U files? M3U files are usually kind of short too, right? But they could be long. Waves are usually long. So, fuzzing text fields. We go through the program's various menu items, and as we just mentioned, the license registration fields are always a good candidate for overflow, so let's start fuzzing them. I'm like almost, oh, I got an error. Right? Yeah, so I'm thinking this is time to get started to actually do stuff, and I have to leave in an hour. I have to leave in an hour, but I have to, help my kids with food, eat food myself, other stuff too. So I'm kind of thinking I'll check. Let's see